get it from my dad. I know my dad, by the way. Just gonna put that out there. I can tell how you guys are looking at me when I said that. But I know my dad, man. I'm really embarrassing, man. Like, I get it from him. There's one time in high school, you know, I was in a room with all my friends. You know, all my friends are in the office, and I was sick. So the rule is, you know, you gotta call your parents and tell them that you're sick. So I call my dad, you know, I'm like, yo, Dad, I'm sick. Just tell him that I'm sick. And all my friends work in the office, and my dad calls the school, and this nigga goes, you know my son, Landon? He has hemorrhoids. He won't be able to make the class. I was like, damn, shut the... All my friends was laughing. They was like, Landon, you can't sit down, bro. You got hemorrhoids. I was like, no. I can never go back to school, man. I was scared, man. I was scared to sit down. Because, like, you know when you would try to keep something a secret? Like, the next day I had hemorrhoids, and I tried to keep it a secret. That's like when people, like, wanted to, like, touch my booty. Like, you know, when you try to hide something and something just happened? You know, like that weird thing? And my friends would be like, good game, Landon. I'm like, man, what the... I don't play any sports. What are you talking about? Good game? This is art class, Ethan. What are you talking about? But no, man, that's me, man. I'm really embarrassed, man. I get it from my dad. I'm an actor, if you guys didn't know. I just got back from LA a couple weeks ago, acting something. Yep. Yeah, thanks. It's hard for us to make it out of here, I know. But man, what I noticed, like, you know, I was in a room, like, I walked past a room full of white people, and they were talking about, like, movies they were gonna make. You know, white people in Hollywood, they kind of like capitalize off of stuff. So I'm not gonna say this publicly, but maybe in a year or so there might be a George Floyd movie coming out. Just putting that out there. And I heard like they were like talking about it, but it kind of sounded weird because they wanted to capitalize off of it. So they're in a room. It looked exactly like this, by the way. They were like, man, I have this idea, man. We're gonna throw out this movie about George Floyd to reminisce him, and it's gonna make us the much money as Black Panther did. I was like, yo, whoa. And I kind of stopped. I was like, what the? I got to audition for this. So I ended up talking about it, man. But I just wondered, like it didn't even make sense because, you know, like these movies that they just got coming out, they just cast anybody for them. So I was like, man, what is the trailer gonna sound like? This summer, the case that shocked America. Michael B. Jordan. All right, sound kind of good. Chris Tucker. Whoa, what the? Jackie Chan. Mark Wahlberg. Tom Cruise. And playing the man himself, Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, fuck that, bro. I'm not finna watch this shit, bro. But that might be a movie coming out next year. I'm just gonna say might. And I might be in it. But no, man, this room kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie with y'all. No, I'm playing. You guys are amazing, man. I love y'all, man. I see y'all smiles, you know. Ain't nobody black in the crowd, so I ain't gotta, you know, tell everybody to show your teeth. Yeah, I don't know where to go with this. Can I work out a gay joke for you guys?
Sure, yeah.
Ah, for real?
Sure.
Alright, cool. You know, I'm not gay, by the way, but there's this rule in Michigan that I just looked up that restaurants can kick you out of their stores if you're gay. But I was kind of confused about that because, like, how do you know they know that you're gay? You know, I don't want it to be in a subway and an alarm just goes off. Then I'll be the only one in there, like, you feel me? And they're like, you gotta get out of here, man. I'm like, what do I do? Do I leave with a free meal or do I stay and try to be a Karen about this? You guys understand, man. I'll probably leave though. I've done some questionable things. How much time I got? Alright, I'm gonna give you this last joke. Shit, let me think. Oh, I work for Amazon for like 2 or 3 days. That's what us black people do. Shout out. Yeah, I work for Amazon for like 2 or 3 days. And the thing is, I don't really like working for Amazon because people get on my nerves. They ask me too many questions, especially black people. They're like, excuse me, sir, why are your eyebrows like that? And you know, you got a level with black people. So I looked at her husband. I was like, yo, excuse me, sir, why is your wife taking care of somebody else's kids? How about we talk about that? You know, you gotta level out the playing field with black folks. But no, man, I like working for Amazon because, like, I'm from Benton Harbor, so you gotta go above and beyond to deliver white people's packages that live in Benton Harbor because, you know, like, Amazon kind of racist, man. And that's how it is. So, like, this white guy, he called my boss. He called my boss one day. He goes, "One of your employees," I could tell he was talking about me because the way he said employees, like, you know, it sounded like he was talking about somebody colored, and I was the only guy working for them. And he was like, "One of your employees put my 75-inch flat screen down my chimney last night." My boss was like, "Yo, was that you?" I was like, "Yeah, but, you know, he lives in Benton Harbor, you know, he's white, and they fucking fired me." I was like, "Oh, shit." But I'm Landon Horn. Thank y'all.
I am spending Christmas with my parents for the first time in 15 years. They're spending it together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when people tell me that, they go, they're like, "Oh man, your parents divorced?" I go, "Nah, got kidnapped."
Oh.
Took 15 years for him to pay the ransom, but he got it. Nah, my parents got divorced. Dad couldn't keep it in his pants. Couldn't keep it in his pants. And I have a fiance, so I had to like kind of explain to her like why my parents are divorced. It's like a crucial thing, you know. It's like a crucial thing to talk about. And told her that he decided that he wanted to step out on the marriage with this white, blonde-haired girl named Barbie. And she tells me, she goes, "Well, I don't have to worry about that, right?" I go, "No, not at all. I'm not into white women." But my fiance's Puerto Rican, so that means I live in fear every day. Every day is like a new adventure. I never win, I just do better each time.
There you go.
It's a struggle. And she has a 7-year-old daughter, and fortunately the dad's not around, so I kind of have to be the parent, which is weird. It's really funny because her daughter is mixed. She's Puerto Rican and black, and she calls me dad, and I'm white as fuck, right? So we go out to the store, and she goes, "Dad, can I get this?" And all the looks of confusion that I get from people is worth it because it's an inside joke that I only know about. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Oh, fuck. I need to look at my notes really quick because I have terrible memory. You ever notice that when you get married? Like, most people here are married, right? Or trying?
Yeah.
Like at this point, like if there's like a event that like I have to go to, I just be like, "Go talk to her," because I'm not gonna remember it. Go talk to the boss. Anyways.
That's the proper thing to do.
Exactly, it's the proper thing to do because I'm not gonna remember anything. Like now. Oh, I kind of hate how like sensitive people are now. You know, I can't even make I can't make an offensive joke without somebody going, "That's not funny," and it's like, I think it is, right? Like,
Just do it.
exactly. Except, can I like be like extremely like use a slur that is like not politically correct and tell the story?
Sure. Do it.
I used the word fag at a comedy show, and I thought I was going to get a laugh, and everybody went, "Oh! Oh!" It was a story about how I fell asleep at a strip club, and I told my dad because I thought it would be funny. I thought, man, he'd get a kick out of this, and I called him, and I go, "Hey, Dad, guess what happened? I just fell asleep at a strip club." Really long, like, silence and shit. Wow, I didn't realize my son was a fag. I'm so happy I get to do those jokes. But no, I hate how like sensitive people are. But I think it's like a level with America. Like it's like the amount of stupidity that goes into sensitivity and stupidity and other shit. Okay, mind-blowing thing that I realized. At one point, the biggest action stars in the world were Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, and nobody understood a fuck what they were saying. I'm Italian, that pissed me off. Because it made me sound like a fucking idiot. Then I had to deal with Jersey Shore? Fuck you. Dude, Guido. Snooky, my meatball. I went to a porno convention once. That was kind of interesting. That's a great transition, isn't it? And you come to the realization that because generally when you meet somebody, you put out your hand. And I put out my hand to some of these porn stars or adult actresses, what they like to be called, or in the general public, they like to be called whores. And in that moment, I realized I just shook hands with somebody and I used the same hand that I used to jerk off to that person.
Full circle.
Exactly, full circle of life, exactly. I like you, sir. Are you from here, or what side, that's a really,
Southeast side.
Southeast side.
Southeast side. Yep.
I grew up on the northeast side. I don't know shit about that side.
Ditto. You're like a foreigner to me, so there.
Exactly. Isn't that weird? You grew up in the same city, but I have no clue what that side of town is, and you don't know what my side of town is.
Fucking cunt.
Keep him out. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Do women find that word offensive still?
Yes.
Calling a woman a
Yes,
cunt?
absolutely.
Is that your guys' N-word?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're a man, so I wouldn't expect you to answer that question.
Probably.
Probably? Is that your assessment?
Uh,
I mean, do you want to you want to identify as a woman so you can answer that question?
I could try, but no. I mean, I just figure it's probably offensive to them.
Probably. We should ask Caitlyn Jenner, right?
From the reactions that you get when you say it.
from his wife.
From his wife.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been married?
40 years. 44. 44.
I got a question for you. I'm getting married next year. Dude.
Good luck.
I mean, excellent.
Are blowjobs the first thing that go?
No. They'll go, but they'll come back.
Special occasions?
After the kids grow up.
No, after the kids grow up.
Yeah, doesn't it suck when they interrupt?
Yes. It scars them.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had the door locked when it happened to me.
Well,
Extra 10 seconds, I would have been golden.
shit happens.
Yeah, when you fool around and you're like, oh, we gotta be quiet, the kids, she's home, and I'm like 10 seconds away from being to full completion, and I hear, why is the door locked? Fuck! My fucking fiance looks at me and goes, well, I got off, so I'm good.
I work in an industry where people probably really relied on us during all that time. Yeah, that's right, I sell beer. So there you go. It was weird because when I first started doing it, just there's a lot of people that we're profiting off of for their pain and suffering, and we're making money off of it. I'm just like, I've never really known what it was like to feel like a Republican. But it's kind of cool. Only for like 5 minutes. And then I started to feel guilty because I'm Catholic, and you know how politics and religion are like best friends, right? So, but in all honesty, the other thing that really came good out of this is that surprisingly, since January, because a lot of people either lost their jobs, got sick, gained weight, lost weight, whatever, coped with new habits, I lost about 60 pounds since January. I know, right? So here I am thinking, there's no way this is possible for me, right? Because, the diet, I'm like an unofficial foodie without the degree. My seafood, I eat it. I'm like, this is not going to happen for me. The exercise, like you saw, I was telling you about the struggle that was going to happen up here. I count tailgating as an activity. I really wanted to be super proud of myself that I lost this weight. And I was up until about a week ago when I saw my doctor and I had to go get blood tests not once but twice. And he came back with the awesome news. I lost a lot of weight, which is a side effect from diabetes. I was recently diagnosed at the first of this month. I probably had it before then, but who knows? I was like, COVID and doctors, like you might be all safe and all that other stuff. And I thought maybe, just maybe, getting one of those vaccines just made you invincible. So I was like, yeah, hey, you know, it worked for Steve Rogers. Who's going to get diabetes now? Well, apparently me. So it's cool because I got this nice little sensor on my arm now, and it's great because really I just want a doctor's note to not give me shit to get on a plane now, because I'm going to go put that detector and it's going to go off. Like, no matter what. And anybody who complained about getting vaccinated, oh, that microchip in there, you know, wherever you are, well, guess what? This is not a microchip. It's like the size of a fucking quarter. Like, and it's allegedly waterproof. So I got to get these little things on there to like cover it up just in case. But I'm like, I'm not really worried about the water part. Not because I don't shower. I do that every day. I wash my ass twice a day. Once for work, once for Brian. Before the show. Right? You're welcome. That's why you literally smelled nothing when I came up here. But I was like, if you're going to complain about that, I don't want to hear it. Because if you think there's a microchip in that stupid vaccine, I know sure as fuck that there's something right there. I know, if I feel like now my care manager and my doctor are just going to be like hounding me. Like every time I go take a bite of something, like this thing's going to go off now. I feel like a food terrorist or like a food criminal on parole. Like every time I go take a bite of pasta, or be like, oh, maybe I can get some chocolate syrup on my non-dairy ice cream pathetic sundae. But what's not cool is that even though I work in the beer industry, I still love weed. Like no matter what, I don't. Even before it became legal, like it's not cool just because it now is suddenly legal. You know, because I work for the beer industry, I kind of have to take sides every once in a while. So I have to be like, fuck you, weed. No, I'm just kidding, weed, I love you. It was an IPA, it meant nothing to me. You know what I mean? But if you're drinking and then you're smoking, is that like a threesome? Yeah. You know what I mean? Is that kind of a threesome? But then what about if you get your kitchen involved? That's just a messy, you know, like orgy that no one asked for. Like you get up the next day and you're like, oh, fucking having a headache. Or like, you know, I've got a little bit of dry mouth. What the fuck happened in this kitchen? It's like sauce splattered everywhere, peanut butter on the fucking floor. You know, because I'll tell you this right now, no one's eating healthy when they get fucked up, right? They're eating whatever the hell's in the fridge, okay? No one's like, hey, you know what we should do? We should totally get fucking wasted. Let's grab the biggest bong possible and make some fucking salads together. Doesn't that sound sexy? Yeah. Let's get baked and then we can drizzle some olive oil and garlic on some make our own fucking homemade kale chips. Gross. That's disgusting. Weed's supposed to make everything taste better. I'm sorry, kale's a goddamn exception. It's like the evil twin cousin of weed. One you smoke, one you regret eating immediately. Alright? You might as well be licking the bottom of your bong and getting like a bendy clown straw, sipping the water on, washing that down. Before I eat any fucking kale, I will do that shit. Give me Keith Richards' bong. Give me Jerry Garcia's fucking bong. Don't send me to their fucking organic kale farm. I don't give a shit about that.
Do you guys like weed?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Cool. It's interesting. I just had an interview for a weed dispensary. Yeah, pretty cool. It was a very interesting interview because, of course, the question came up, do I smoke weed? Which I don't. So I said no. I could tell the guy was pretty disappointed when I said this, and I wanted to reassure him I was cool, but I didn't know if it was appropriate during a job interview to be like, yeah, I don't smoke weed, but I do grow mushrooms. Like, you can't interview at a brewery and be like, yeah, I don't like to drink, but I love popping Molly, high five. It's cool though, guys. I got the job. What's up? Give it up for me. Come on. Yeah. Out here. I'm a corporate drug dealer. I'm very white, very lame. It's interesting, man. I like it. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. I had this couple come in the other day, and there's a man and wife, and they're really excited. And the wife was like, "Oh man, babe, he is just so cute. We should tell our daughter about him." And he slowly panders over to me, and he's like, "Babe, he sells weed. And it's like, come on, man, I got insurance, all right? I got insurance. It's weird, man. Yeah, my dad was really disappointed when I told him I was going to be working at a weed dispensary. Because he is really into meth, guys. Thought he was going to be able to pass down the family foil. She got it. That person knows how meth works. And that's not points on the board, guys, all right? I just like to know where my sketchy people are at, you know? Like you, ma'am, all right? Like you. Yeah, it's cool. I had this gentleman come in the other day. He was like, hey, can I smell that weed? And I was like, of course, sir. You can smell this weed. 2021, we made it. So he goes, man, that smelled exactly like cat piss. I'll take that one. And it's just like, what was buying weed for that guy like before it was legal? Did he go up to his drug dealer? He's like, man, I'm looking for that gas, that kush, that dank, that loud, that Garfield R. Kelly shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you guys like the R. Kelly jokes? Okay, cool. Let's run with it. Sorry, I don't have any more R. Kelly material. Actually, I gotta do it, you know, because like, it's weird. My son's going through a Space Jam phase right now. Yeah, but which simultaneously means he's going through an R. Kelly phase. You know, and it's, you know, he's 3, so he doesn't get it. And I made him watch Surviving R. Kelly like 3 times, and he just doesn't get it, guys. He just doesn't get it. I don't think his cortex is, you know, developed enough. Understand the trauma. Oh man, it's weird. It's weird since I started selling weed, because now everybody misidentifies me as like the weed guy. And this became very apparent. I went to a small gathering, okay? And I brought some cookies with me. And I had 3 separate people ask me if they had weed in them, which is fine, okay? But my problem was they were visibly disappointed when I said no. And it's just like, in 2021, you can't be happy with having baked goods? Got all these weed snobs out here, like, I'm a level with you, Betty Crocker. This isn't showing up on a piss test while you're bringing it to my birthday. And it's just like, dude, Jared, I seen you refer to Little Debbie as Tiny Deborah 20 minutes ago. I don't think you need any more weed, man. It's weird. It's weird. I sell weed in my hometown. All right, and recently, this is 100% true, Reader's Digest voted my town as the nicest place in America. Yeah. And it's just like, man, you put 6 dispensaries in a town with 2 stoplights? What you think was gonna happen, man? It's weird. It's so funny because now people have been using, like the people that have lived there forever, are using the new town slogan as like an insult on Facebook. They'll be like, hashtag nicest place in America, go fuck yourself, Brenda. It's great. I love it. And I gotta tell you guys, for the nicest place in America, surprising amount of sex offenders. A lot of red dots, folks. A lot of red dots. But, you know, I don't know, I feel like that's what they always say about those people, right? I was like, oh man, I would have never expected it. He was the nicest guy. Coming from the nicest place in America, even. I don't know. No predator got anywhere by being mean, am I right?
That's right.
Bill Cosby. Do I rest my case? Oh man, yeah. Honestly, since weed got legalized in Michigan, it kind of lost its edge for me. You know, like I'm one of those people that if it's not like sketchy, I just kind of lose interest in it. Yeah, so I've been trying to get my sketch back the last couple weeks. I've been scoping out the crack game. Scoping out from afar. From afar. Yeah. You're the sketchy one in the audience, man. I see you. Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a lot harder than you might think. Like, the crack community doesn't want me. Thought I was doing right stuff, you know? Run out people's cars and washing them when they didn't ask me to. Bumming cigarettes. Selling air conditioners. Still, call me a poser in the crack community, folks. So I asked this guy Roscoe about it. It's like, Roscoe, what am I doing wrong? It's like, Max, you're listening to the crack, but you're not hearing it. And that's when he stabbed me and took my shoes. I guess they call that a basehead baptism, so I think I'm getting somewhere. Oh man, what else we got to talk about? I recently broke up with my girlfriend because I was tired of her being dyslexic. And every time I asked her to 69, she just started making out with me. Alright, okay, not that one. Not that one. I have a son. He's pretty cool. He had a birthday recently, and of course, he got like a bunch of presents. My parents got him like a construction set and a bunch of kid tools and stuff like that. And that's all really nice. But at the end of it, I was just like, why set my kid up for all this blue collar shit? Like, I'm trying to make the Wolf of Wall Street here, and you're gonna have him directing traffic. And that wasn't even the worst part, guys, because the very last present he opens up, it's a big white bus. And on the side of it, it reads, correctional facility. Yeah, somebody got my kid a fucking prison bus for his birthday. And it's just like, man, let's not go setting him up for success now. I'll be seeing a lot of these, Junior. It's weird, man. It's weird. And like at this point, I feel like a prison bus kind of like unrealistic. Like I feel like you gotta not get shot by the cops to make it to the bus. Am I right, folks? Am I right? Yo, she knows what's
you're
up.
white, you'll make it.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. He's pretty white. He's pretty white. I don't know. That might have been a little bit too blue for the back of the audience there. It's like, come on, guys. I thought their lives mattered too. Told that joke in Indiana recently. This guy comes up to me. He's like, man, Max, I don't really get that joke about the cops. The cops are like modern day Jedi. And I was like, man, you might have a point there. Because they sure do like using the Force. Am I right, folks?
Yeah.
Am I right? Brian, is that 30 seconds or a minute?
Oh, man.
Minute? Cool. Awesome. Sick. What was I going to talk about? I'm tired of everybody being so concerned with people being sick recently. You guys tired of that? Everybody's always freaking out, acting like they're about to kill their grandma. And I also hate it because they always say the same thing. I hate that. I hate when people say the same generic thing. Because every time I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling too well, they always go, oh, must have what's going around. Must have what's going around. And it's just like last time and every other time I've ever been sick, I just happen to have what's going around. Like, my sickness isn't your wife, Jerry. So how about you stay in my business? Thanks so much, guys. My name's Max Heidi. Give it up for Brian.